All right, so in this video, what we are going to do is literally take a copy of the entire thing, go and create a new workflow, paste it here. Since it's just a JSON, it can be copy pasted using clipboard. We're going to remove the chat and then add from here a webhook. We already did this before. And also the response of this needs to be respond to webhook, similar to what we have done before, because we want to send back the response to a specific JSON. Which is that specific JSON, which is something like this. We're gonna, for now, just put something very odd, like it is done, Mr. Human, just so that we can make sure that we heard this message back, and then we will wire this up with the output coming from here, either the first node or the error or whatever is from there. So now we have this information. We can send traffic here, but we also need something for the memory, because if I start sending traffic here, let's go send something using our Postman. So I may just send some general JSON having like a query. Can you book me an appointment for tomorrow at 2 p.m.? We can send something like this, maybe not tomorrow, but 22nd July to 2 p.m. For a lunch meeting. And if I send this, it's 404 because it was not executing. So now I'm going to send it over. It executes, but it gives an error here. The error is because it says no session ID found. And in order to have a memory, you need to send a session ID along with this query, which we have discussed before. So I'm going to just send a session ID here. I'm going to run this one in execution mode and send this again. Now this time, it's still giving this error. Why? Because the session ID is not yet connected. The session ID that we got here as a part of this payload, this session ID has to be connected with this memory here, this session ID. So what we're going to do is append this so that we don't need to rerun it again and again. And then in here, we're going to say define below as an expression. And then we get it from json.body.sessionID. Now if I execute it again, now this time it is again having a problem with that chat input, because we don't have a chat input now. It's this query. We're going to say define this. Can you please book an appointment based on the user's query? And then we put the query in here. All right, so now if I execute this, it will run, and this workflow is pretty much ready for being used as an API, not inside a chat window like before we did. So if I now go and check my calendar, you can see that there is a lunch meeting scheduled for 2 p.m. We're going to give it one more try by removing the pinned item and having it listen like this. Maybe it's a good practice that I refresh, because it can happen that sometimes there is an error. And now if I send this, maybe I change it to 3 p.m., not lunch meeting, but business meeting about n8n training. If I send it, you can see that now as an API, this workflow can be used, which means we can connect it to our n8n connected to our ElevenLabs interface. And now if I go here, I should see a business meeting about n8n training at 3 p.m., which was exactly what we have sent in here. And also the response that we got is in this specific payload, which will be sent back to ElevenLabs for speaking it out loud. So that's how now we created an API or a webhook in n8n that can be used in ElevenLabs in the next video. So see you there.